The sun bathed the crystal beach in gold as cameras flashed from every angle. Chantel Williams, a stunning Black American heiress with flawless caramel skin and ocean-deep eyes, walked down the aisle in a diamond-studded gown worth $500,000. Her groom, Logan Pierce, a handsome, blue-eyed tech billionaire, waited with a smile so perfect it could melt any heart. Their wedding was dubbed the Union of the Century. The world saw a fairy tale, but beneath Chantel's calm smile was a storm no one could imagine. Everyone believed she had found her happy ending, but Chantel had found something else, a secret so cruel it shattered her soul. Just days before the wedding, she had overheard a conversation between Logan and her best friend, Vanessa, that would change everything. They spoke of a plan, of using her inheritance to save Logan's collapsing company. Her heart cracked, but she didn't scream or cry. She planned. That evening, while the guests danced and champagne flowed, Chantel stood by the shore, staring at the horizon. In her mind, a seed of revenge began to bloom. She would not confront him, not yet. She would let him believe he had won. And then she would vanish. For the world, Chantel Williams would soon be dead. But for her, the game had only just begun. 2 weeks after the glamorous wedding, tragedy struck. Or so the world believed. Chantel's private jet, heading from Miami to the Bahamas, lost contact mid-flight. Minutes later, it was reported missing. The Coast Guard found debris scattered across the sea, floating alongside a burned piece of fabric, her wedding dress veil. News outlets exploded with headlines, "Billionaire bride dies in mysterious plane crash." Logan Pierce was filmed sobbing outside their mansion, dressed in black, his hands trembling as he read a tearful statement. The world mourned the young bride who had it all. Candlelight vigils were held, and her company's stocks soared from the sympathy. Everyone cried for Chantel. Everyone except Chantel herself. Miles away, deep in a quiet fishing village in Haiti, she sat in a dim hut under a new name, Celeste. Her once luxurious hair was hidden under a scarf, and her flawless hands now bore calluses from labor. She watched her death unfold on a cracked TV screen. Logan's fake tears made her lips curl in disgust. Her plan was working. She had arranged everything: the empty plane, the fake passport, the offshore transfer of her assets. Only one person knew she was alive: her cousin Mariah, a Haitian-American journalist who helped her disappear. Together, they would uncover the truth and expose Logan's betrayal to the world. Chantel wasn't just back for revenge. She was back for justice. 3 months after the supposed crash, Logan Pierce appeared to have moved on faster than anyone expected. The world mourned his loss, but paparazzi soon caught glimpses of him in Los Angeles, holding hands with a woman who looked hauntingly familiar. It was Vanessa Brooks, Chantel's best friend and maid of honor. The betrayal Chantel once overheard was no longer a secret whispered in the dark. It was now paraded in public, shamelessly. From her small room in Haiti, Chantel watched the viral video clip on her old phone. Logan and Vanessa laughed together in a luxury car, their faces glowing with arrogance. Her heart clenched, but her eyes stayed cold. She whispered under her breath, "Let them enjoy the stage before the curtain falls." Mariah entered the room with a folder of documents, bank transfers, hidden properties, and offshore accounts that linked Logan's business empire to illegal deals. The proof of his corruption was building, piece by piece. But Chantel wanted more than financial exposure. She wanted emotional ruin. That night, she began to craft her new identity: fake social media accounts, secret messages to Logan's investors, and a plan to return to America under a new face and name. The woman he buried was gone. The one coming for him was colder, smarter, and untraceable. For the first time since her death, Chantel smiled. Her revenge was no longer an idea. It was a countdown. 6 months after Chantel's fake death, Los Angeles was buzzing with whispers. At a charity gala hosted by Logan Pierce, guests gasped as a woman stepped out of a sleek black limousine. She was breathtaking. Same height, same glowing brown skin, same voice as the late Chantel Williams. But this woman introduced herself as Selena Ward, a wealthy investor from New York. Logan froze when he saw her. For a split second, his face turned pale. From across the room, Chantel, now living as Selena, watched him squirm. Her hair was shorter, her accent slightly different, her aura colder. Every move she made was calculated. Vanessa, now Logan's fiancée, couldn't hide her unease. She whispered to him, but he brushed her off, pretending not to be bothered. The ghost of Chantel was now flesh and blood again, right before them. After the event, Logan approached Selena cautiously. "You look familiar," he said. She smiled and replied, "I get that a lot." Her tone was confident, almost mocking. She handed him her business card and walked away, leaving him speechless. Outside, Chantel exhaled deeply. The first step was complete. Logan had no idea the woman he was trying to impress was the same woman he betrayed. Her revenge had just entered his world, beautiful, silent, and unstoppable. Over the next few weeks, Selena Ward became a familiar name in Logan's business circle. She invested heavily in his new tech project, offering to help rebuild his company's public image. He didn't know that every move she made was designed to pull him deeper into her trap. Chantel, now fully living as Selena, played her role with flawless precision. Her voice was soothing, her charm disarming, her smile magnetic. Soon, Logan started calling her more often, first for business, then for dinner, then for comfort. Vanessa grew suspicious, but Logan dismissed her jealousy. He was drawn to Selena in ways he couldn't explain. She reminded him of someone he had lost, someone who haunted him in dreams. Every time he looked into her eyes, he saw Chantel's reflection, and it terrified him. One evening, after a long dinner filled with laughter and expensive wine, Logan confessed, "You make me feel alive again." Chantel hid her smirk behind the rim of her glass. He had no idea he was confessing to the very woman he had killed in his heart. That night, as Logan fell asleep beside her, Chantel stared at him silently. She wasn't there for love or comfort. She was there for evidence, for confession, for payback. Every heartbeat next to his reminded her of the lies he told, the tears he caused, and the trust he shattered. Soon, she thought, he would lose everything, just like she did. For weeks, Chantel lived two lives, Logan's mysterious new lover by night and a silent investigator by day. Hidden in her designer purse was a micro-recorder no bigger than a lipstick tube. Every whisper, every deal, every private phone call Logan made was being documented. Slowly, she pieced together the truth behind his empire: money laundering, offshore scams, and even connections to political bribery. One evening, while Logan showered, Chantel slipped into his private study. She found a locked drawer behind his desk, cracked it open, and discovered the ultimate betrayal: signed contracts proving that her inheritance had been secretly transferred to his company after her death. It wasn't just betrayal, it was theft of her entire legacy. As she copied the files to her laptop, Logan's reflection appeared faintly in the glass door behind her. Her heart raced. She turned quickly, but he only smiled, a towel around his waist. "Looking for something, Selena?" he teased. She laughed nervously and walked toward him, brushing his cheek. "Just admiring your empire," she said. He kissed her forehead. "You could be a part of it someday," he whispered. Inside, Chantel's stomach turned. She wanted to scream the truth in his face, but it wasn't time yet. She needed to ruin him in public, just like he had humiliated her in private. That night, she sent all the recorded files to Mariah with a message: "Get ready, it's showtime." The morning headlines nearly made Chantel choke on her coffee. Billionaire Logan Pierce engaged again, to Vanessa Brooks. There they were on the front page, smiling like the perfect couple. The engagement party was set to be the biggest social event of the year, held at the same mansion where Chantel once lived as his bride. The irony cut deep. Chantel stared at the photo, her hands trembling, not with sadness, but with anticipation. This was the opportunity she'd been waiting for. The world would be watching, cameras flashing, reporters live streaming. The perfect stage for her grand return. She called Mariah and said calmly, "I'm going to the engagement party." Mariah's voice cracked. "Are you crazy? What if he recognizes you?" Chantel smiled faintly. "That's the point." The night of the party, she arrived in a gold silk gown, her curls cascading over her shoulders. The crowd gasped when she entered. Whispers rippled across the room. She looked like a ghost in human form. Logan's face drained of color the moment he saw her. His hand froze mid-toast, his eyes wide. Chantel walked toward him slowly, the crowd parting around her like the sea. She extended her hand and said softly, "Congratulations." The air went still. Vanessa clutched his arm, trembling. Logan stammered, Who are you?" Chantel smiled, "Someone you thought you buried." The room erupted in chaos. Cameras clicked, reporters shouted, and in that single moment, the world began to see the cracks in his empire. The room went dead silent as Chantel, alive, flawless and fearless, stood before the man who had stolen everything from her. The crowd murmured, some whispering, "Is that Chantel Williams? But she's dead." Flashbulbs exploded, reporters pushed forward, recording every second of the unfolding scandal. Logan tried to laugh it off. "This is insane," he said shakily. "My wife is dead. This is some look-alike stunt." Chantel stepped closer, her voice calm and sharp as glass. "Then why do you flinch every time I call your name?" She held up her phone and pressed play. From its speaker came his own voice, recorded from weeks of secret conversations, admitting to stealing her inheritance, staging her fake plane crash, and planning to marry Vanessa to secure her remaining assets. Gasps filled the room. Vanessa's face turned pale as she stepped back, realizing she too had been a pawn in his game. The media swarmed, microphones pointed like weapons. Chantel turned toward the crowd and declared, "I faked my death to find the truth, and now the world knows who Logan Pierce really is." Security tried to escort her out, but it was too late. The footage went viral within minutes. Investors pulled out, stocks crashed. Federal agents swarmed the mansion before dawn. Everything Logan built on lies began to crumble, brick by brick, dollar by dollar. That night, as he was led away in handcuffs, Chantel watched from a distance. She didn't smile, she just whispered, "Justice served." Weeks later, the media was still buzzing about the billionaire bride resurrection. Logan Pierce faced charges of fraud, theft, and attempted murder. Vanessa vanished from the public eye, and Chantel, alive, reborn, and free, stood before a sea of cameras for her first official interview. Dressed in a white suit, she looked powerful yet peaceful, a symbol of strength wrapped in grace. The interviewer leaned forward. "Why fake your death, Chantel?" She smiled faintly. "Because when people think you're gone, they show who they really are." Logan's betrayal was cruel, but it revealed his truth and mine. I learned that silence can be louder than revenge. The world listened as she spoke, not with anger, but wisdom. She announced she would use her restored fortune to fund shelters for women who'd been deceived, abused, or silenced. "My story isn't about revenge," she said softly. "It's about reclaiming your power when life tries to steal it." Later that evening, Chantel stood by the ocean where her fake death began. The waves rolled gently, reflecting the stars. She whispered to herself, "I died to find myself, and I lived to help others do the same. Moral of the story: never let betrayal destroy your soul. Sometimes walking away in silence is the loudest revenge. Truth will always surface, no matter how deep it's buried. If you were Chantel, would you have faked your death too, or walked away quietly? Let me know your reaction in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories.